The Royal Niger Company was not a company like others. It was a company built on the hunger for profit and power. It started small, just a group of British traders looking for palm oil in Africa. They sailed up the River Niger into the heart of what we now know as Nigeria. These traders saw a chance to become rich. The land was fertile, the people skilled, and the resources plentiful. They began to dream of controlling it all. They formed the National African Company, later renamed the Royal Niger Company with the backing of the British government. This company was not just there to trade, it was there to conquer. It was a symbol of European colonialism, a dark chapter in human history. The company's actions would have a lasting impact on Nigeria, shaping its destiny for generations to come. The Royal Niger Company used cunning and force to grow its power. It made treaties with local rulers. These treaties were often signed under pressure or through misunderstandings. They gave the company control over trade and land. The company's agents promised friendship and prosperity. They offered gifts and spoke of mutual benefits, but their true intentions were hidden. They wanted to exploit the land and its people for their own gain. With each signed treaty, the company tightened its grip. It established trading posts along the Niger River. These posts soon became centers of control, extending the company's influence further inland. The stage was set for conflict as the company's ambition grew insatiable. The Royal Niger Company's rule was harsh. It imposed taxes on the people, forcing them to pay for the privilege of being ruled. It seized land and resources, claiming them for the British Crown. The company's agents often acted with brutality, punishing those who resisted their authority. Villages were burned and people were killed or enslaved. The company's quest for profit knew no bounds. It exploited the land and its people, extracting vast quantities of palm oil, rubber, and other resources. This exploitation left a legacy of poverty and underdevelopment. It destroyed traditional industries and created a system of dependence on the colonizers. The company's actions had a devastating impact on the social fabric of Nigerian society. The Royal Niger Company's rule sowed the seeds of division. It played different ethnic groups against each other, weakening resistance to its authority. This strategy of divide and rule left a lasting legacy of ethnic tension and mistrust. The company's actions undermined traditional power structures and institutions. It imposed its own system of governance, eroding local customs and traditions. This disruption of indigenous systems of governance created a void that was later filled by the colonial administration, further entrenching external control. The company's legacy extended beyond the immediate period of its rule. It laid the foundation for a colonial system that would continue to exploit Nigeria for decades to come. The wounds inflicted during this period continue to shape Nigeria today. Section 5: Independence and its unfulfilled promises. Nigeria gained independence from Britain in 1960, but the legacy of the Royal Niger Company continued to cast a long shadow. The country inherited a system rigged against its own people. The economy was still structured to benefit former colonizers. Political power remained concentrated in the hands of a few, often those who had collaborated with the colonial regime. The promises of independence, prosperity, equality, and self-determination remained largely unfulfilled for the majority of Nigerians. The legacy of exploitation and underdevelopment left by the Royal Niger Company contributed to ongoing challenges. Poverty, corruption, and ethnic tensions continued to plague the nation. The struggle for true independence, one free from the shackles of the past, continued. Section 6: The Long Road to Justice, Education and Remembrance. Addressing the injustices of the Royal Niger Company's rule is a moral imperative. It requires a multifaceted approach, beginning with education. Accurate and comprehensive history must be taught in schools. Nigerians, especially the younger generation, need to learn about the company's atrocities, its impact on their society, and its lasting legacy. This education should not be limited to textbooks. It should involve visits to historical sites, museums, and memorials dedicated to the victims of colonial exploitation. Remembering the past is not about dwelling on past grievances. It's about understanding the root causes of present-day challenges. It's about learning from history to create a better future. Section 7. Rebuilding communities, rebuilding trust. The Royal Niger Company's actions caused significant damage to communities across Nigeria. Rebuilding these communities requires a long-term commitment to development. This includes investing in infrastructure, healthcare, and education, particularly in areas that were most affected by the company's exploitation. Empowering local communities to manage their resources and control their destinies is crucial. This can be achieved through initiatives that promote sustainable development, support local entrepreneurship, and strengthen local governance. Healing the wounds of the past also requires addressing the ethnic divisions that were exacerbated by the company's policies. This involves promoting inter-ethnic dialogue, fostering reconciliation, and building trust between different communities. Section 8. Reparations, righting the wrongs of the past. The call for reparations for the atrocities committed by the Royal Niger Company is gaining momentum. Reparations are not just about financial compensation, although that is an important aspect. They are about acknowledging the harm caused, taking responsibility for past actions, and making amends for the injustices suffered. Reparations could take various forms, including direct payments to descendants of victims, investment in affected communities, and the return of stolen artifacts and cultural treasures. While the road to achieving meaningful reparations may be long and complex, it is a necessary step towards achieving justice and reconciliation. It is a conversation that needs to happen at both the national and international levels. Section 9. Preserving culture, preserving identity. The Royal Niger Company's rule led to the suppression and erosion of Nigerian cultures and traditions. Preserving what remains is vital for healing and reconciliation. This includes supporting the documentation and revitalization of indigenous languages, arts, crafts, and traditional knowledge systems. Museums can play a crucial role in this effort by showcasing Nigerian history and culture, providing a platform for dialogue and understanding. They can also serve as repositories of memory, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not forgotten. Preserving cultural heritage is not only about the past, it's about the future. It's about ensuring that future generations of Nigerians grow up with a strong sense of identity and pride in their heritage. Section 10. Acknowledging the past, shaping the future. Addressing the legacy of the Royal Niger Company is not just the responsibility of the government. It requires a collective effort from all segments of society. Civil society organizations, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and individuals all have a role to play in raising awareness, promoting dialogue, and advocating for justice. International actors, including the British government and corporations that benefited from the company's activities, also have a moral obligation to contribute to this process. This includes acknowledging their role in past injustices, supporting initiatives aimed at redress, and working to prevent similar abuses from happening again. Acknowledging the past is not about assigning blame. It's about learning from history to create a more just and equitable future for all. Section 11. Towards a just and equitable future. The legacy of the Royal Niger Company is a stark reminder of the devastating impact of colonialism. It is a story of exploitation, violence, and the denial of basic human rights. But it is also a story of resilience, resistance, and the enduring spirit of the Nigerian people. Addressing the injustices of the past is not an easy task. It requires a long-term commitment, sustained effort, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. But the pursuit of justice and reconciliation is a worthy endeavor. By learning from the mistakes of the past, by acknowledging the suffering caused, and by working together to build a more just and equitable society, Nigeria can overcome the shadows of its colonial history and create a brighter future for generations to come.